The Soviet Union built a 640-ton aircraft that could carry entire locomotives, a tank with 5 turrets requiring 12 crew members, and a missile-launching boat that flew just above water at 340 miles per hour. While the West focused on practical engineering, Soviet designers created machines so outrageous, they seemed pulled from science fiction. These weren't concept drawings or propaganda fantasies, they were real, operational vehicles that pushed the boundaries of physics and common sense. Welcome to the most insane chapter of military engineering history. The Antonov An-225 Mriya, the Sky Titan. A single aircraft engine failure would ground most planes, but the An-225 Mriya could lose 3 of its 6 engines and still fly safely. This Ukrainian-built monster wasn't just the world's largest aircraft, it was a flying impossibility that redefined what could take to the skies. Stretching 275 feet long with a wingspan wider than a football field, the Mriya weighed 640 tons when fully loaded. Its cargo hold could fit 50 cars or house 4 crew members comfortably in its engineering bay. The aircraft required 32 wheels just to distribute its massive weight on runways, with 20 of those wheels being steerable for ground maneuvering. Originally designed to piggyback the Soviet Buran space shuttle, the Mriya became a commercial cargo hauler after the space program ended. It routinely transported objects once thought impossible to move by air: 130-ton generators, wind turbine blades longer than most aircraft, and even diesel locomotives. The sight of this 6-engine giant attracted crowds wherever it landed, becoming a symbol of Ukrainian engineering pride. The aircraft's unique design featured twin vertical stabilizers and engines mounted above the wings to avoid ground debris when loading oversized cargo. Its maximum altitude of 36,000 feet meant it could fly intercontinental routes while carrying payloads that would require multiple cargo ships to transport by sea. Tragically, the only completed Mriya was destroyed during the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine, ending the operational life of aviation's most ambitious achievement. The T-35 heavy tank, the land battleship. Imagine a tank so massive it needed 11 crew members and got lost because its own turrets blocked the driver's vision. The T-35 wasn't just a tank, it was a mobile fortress that embodied Soviet excess in armored warfare. At 45 tons and nearly 32 feet long, the T-35 featured 5 turrets bristling with weapons: one 76mm main gun, 2 45mm cannons, and up to 7 machine guns. This firepower required a crew larger than most aircraft, with gunners, loaders, and commanders spread across separate fighting compartments that couldn't communicate effectively with each other. The tank's design philosophy assumed it would break through enemy lines while creating a sea of fire around itself. In reality, the T-35 proved mechanically unreliable and strategically useless. Its 500 horsepower engine could barely push the massive hull to 19 miles per hour on roads, and cross-country mobility was practically non-existent. Only 61 T-35s were ever built, making them more valuable as parade vehicles than combat weapons. During World War II, most T-35s were lost to mechanical breakdowns rather than enemy action. The few that saw combat were quickly destroyed or abandoned when their complex systems failed under battlefield conditions. The T-35 represented the interwar period's obsession with multi-turreted land battleships, a concept that looked impressive on paper but proved disastrously impractical in real warfare. It remains the only 5-turreted tank ever to reach mass production, a testament to Soviet willingness to build the impossible. The Lone-class Ekranoplan, the flying warship. Soviet engineers created a 240-foot missile-armed vehicle that wasn't quite a plane and wasn't quite a ship. It was something entirely new that skimmed across water at 340 miles per hour while carrying enough firepower to sink an entire naval fleet. The Lund-class Ekranoplan exploited ground effect physics, using the air cushion created between its massive wings and the water surface to achieve lift without actually flying. This allowed the 240-ton vehicle to cruise just 13 feet above the waves, too low for radar detection but too fast for naval defenses. Armed with 6 P-270 Mosquet anti-ship missiles, the Lund could engage targets 75 miles away while remaining virtually invisible to enemy sensors. Its 8 turbojet engines provided enough thrust to accelerate this flying fortress to speeds that would make most naval vessels look stationary. The craft's unique design challenges included saltwater corrosion from constant spray, limited operational conditions requiring calm seas, and the need for specially trained pilots who understood both aviation and maritime operations. The International Maritime Organization classified ekranoplans as ships rather than aircraft, creating regulatory confusion that persists today. Only one Lune-class ekranoplan was completed before the Soviet Union's collapse ended the program. The surviving vehicle now sits as a museum piece on the Caspian seashore, a reminder of Soviet ambitions to revolutionize naval warfare through physics-defying engineering. The Buran Space Shuttle, the Soviet Space Phantom. While NASA's space shuttle required pilots for every mission, the Soviet Buran accomplished something American engineers thought impossible. It flew to orbit and landed completely unmanned, controlled entirely by computers in an era when most people had never seen a personal computer. The Buran program represented the Soviet Union's most expensive space project, involving over 1,000 companies across the country. Unlike the American shuttle, which carried its main engines into orbit, Buran rode atop the massive Energia rocket, making it a true passenger spacecraft rather than a rocket-powered aircraft. On November 15, 1988, Buran completed its only spaceflight, a flawless two-orbit mission lasting 208 minutes. The spacecraft launched automatically, maneuvered in orbit using onboard computers, and executed a perfect runway landing without any human intervention. This automated capability was decades ahead of its time, predating modern autonomous vehicle technology by 30 years. The shuttle's cargo bay could accommodate satellites up to 56 feet long, and its crew cabin was designed for 6 cosmonauts. Additional crew members could ride in the cargo area for specialized missions. The spacecraft's heat shield used different materials than NASA's shuttle, optimized for the harsh conditions of Soviet launch sites. Despite its technological success, Buran never flew again. The Soviet Union's collapse in 1991 ended funding for the program, and the only operational orbiter was destroyed in 2002 when its storage hangar collapsed. The program's cancellation marked the end of Soviet dreams of routine space transportation. The VDNKH robot, the Soviet android dream. In 1959, when most people thought robots existed only in science fiction, Soviet engineers unveiled a 1.8-meter humanoid robot that could execute 18 commands, respond to light and sound, and perform for amazed crowds at Moscow's VDNKH Exhibition Center. The VDNKH robot represented the Soviet Union's early experiment in humanoid robotics, designed to showcase technological superiority during the Cold War. Standing on a specially built stage in front of the electrification pavilion, the robot performed demonstrations every 2 hours, combining engineering achievement with theatrical showmanship. This early android could perform basic human movements, respond to voice commands, and navigate simple obstacles using primitive sensors. While crude by modern standards, the robot's capabilities were revolutionary for the 1950s, predating industrial robotics by decades, and demonstrating Soviet commitment to automation technology. The robot's design philosophy reflected Soviet optimism about human-machine collaboration, envisioning a future where robots would support workers in factories and daily life. Its public demonstrations captured imaginations and inspired a generation of Soviet engineers to pursue robotics research. The VDNKH robot's legacy extends beyond its mechanical capabilities to its cultural impact, representing a time when robotics was emerging as a field full of promise. It embodied the Soviet Union's drive to innovate through technology, blending practical demonstration with symbolic hope for technological progress that would define the space age. The MAZ-7907, the 24-wheeled nuclear nightmare. Soviet engineers built a truck so massive it needed 24 wheels, 2 tank engines, and electric motors at every wheel, just to move a 100-ton nuclear missile across rough terrain. And only 2 of these mechanical monsters were ever completed. The MAZ 7907 stretched 92 feet long and weighed 66 tons empty, designed specifically to transport the RT-23 Molodets intercontinental ballistic missile. This road-mobile nuclear launcher represented the ultimate expression of Cold War mobility, capable of carrying world-ending firepower to any location accessible by road. 2 1,250 horsepower gas turbine engines from T-80 tanks powered electric generators that fed individual motors at each of the 24 wheels. This turbine electric drive system allowed the massive vehicle to navigate rough terrain while maintaining the precision needed for missile deployment. 8 of the 12 axles were steerable, enabling surprisingly tight turns for such a massive vehicle. The truck's articulated frame and independent hydropneumatic suspension for each wheel helped it traverse difficult terrain without losing stability. Despite weighing over 200 tons when loaded, the MAZ 7907 could achieve speeds of 25 miles per hour on roads and maintain mobility across unpaved surfaces that would stop conventional vehicles. The end of the Cold War eliminated the need for road-mobile nuclear missiles, leaving the MAZ 7907 without a mission. One surviving chassis was later used to transport an 88-ton ship 250 kilometers across Belarus, proving the vehicle's incredible load-carrying capability, even in civilian applications. The Caspian Sea Monster, the original Ekranoplan. American spy satellites detected something so bizarre skimming across the Caspian Sea that CIA analysts couldn't determine if it was a plane, a ship, or something entirely new. They simply called it the Caspian Sea Monster, and it became one of the Cold War's most mysterious weapons. The KM, or Korabel Maket, was the world's first operational ground effect vehicle, a 348-foot experimental craft that flew just above the water surface using 8 massive turbojet engines. Weighing over 540 tons, it was simultaneously the heaviest aircraft and fastest ship ever built when it began testing back in 1966. This flying Leviathan exploited ground effect physics to achieve impossible performance, skimming across water at speeds up to 460 miles per hour while remaining invisible to radar. Its massive size, longer than a Boeing 747 with engines producing 127,000 pounds of thrust, made it detectable by satellites but honestly incomprehensible to intelligence analysts. The KM's experimental nature meant constant testing and modification throughout its operational life. Soviet engineers used it to develop techniques for ground effect flight, leading to later military applications like the Lund-class Ekranoplan. Its unique capabilities included the ability to carry massive payloads at aircraft speeds while operating from any large body of water. The monster's career ended in 1980, when pilot error caused it to crash into the Caspian Sea during a test flight. No lives were lost, but the unique vehicle sank and remains on the sea floor, taking with it secrets of Soviet ground effect technology that took decades to fully understand. The Zveno flying aircraft carrier, the aerial mothership. Soviet engineers solved the problem of limited fighter aircraft range by creating something that sounds like science fiction. A massive bomber that carried smaller fighter planes on its wings and released them in mid-air for combat missions. The Zveno project transformed a TB-3 heavy bomber into a flying aircraft carrier, mounting up to 5 smaller aircraft on its wings and fuselage. I-16 fighters would attach to the bomber before takeoff, ride to the target area, then detach for independent combat operations before returning to land at conventional airfields. This aerial mothership concept addressed the fundamental limitation of 1930s fighter aircraft. Their short range made them useless for long-distance missions. By carrying fighters to the battle zone, the Zveno system extended their operational radius by hundreds of miles, effectively creating mobile air bases that could appear anywhere within the bomber's range. The system required extraordinary pilot skill and precise coordination. Fighter pilots had to attach their aircraft to the bomber's wing mounts, ride through potentially turbulent flight conditions, then detach cleanly without colliding with the carrier aircraft or other fighters. The complexity of these operations limited the system's practical applications. Despite successful testing and limited combat use during World War II, the Zveno concept was abandoned as aircraft technology advanced. Longer-range fighters and aerial refueling made the flying aircraft carrier unnecessary, but the project demonstrated Soviet willingness to pursue unconventional solutions to tactical problems. The 1K-17 Shati laser tank, the Soviet death ray. While science fiction promised laser weapons in the distant future, Soviet engineers built a working laser tank in the 1970s that could blind pilots and destroy optical equipment using focused light beams generated by synthetic rubies weighing 66 pounds each. The 1K-17 Shati mounted an array of 13 laser emitters on a tank chassis, each focusing powerful light through synthetically grown rubies to create coherent beams capable of damaging enemy equipment. Unlike modern military lasers designed to burn through targets, the Shati was built to blind and disorient rather than destroy. The system's ruby-based laser technology represented cutting-edge Soviet research into directed energy weapons. Each ruby crystal required precise manufacturing and alignment to focus the laser beams effectively, making the entire system incredibly complex and expensive to maintain. Combat applications included disabling enemy optical systems, blinding pilots during low-level attacks, and potentially damaging sensitive electronic equipment. The laser array could fire in pulses to prevent overheating while maintaining effectiveness against multiple targets. The Shatiya never saw combat deployment, remaining an experimental system throughout its development. The complexity of maintaining the laser array, combined with the emergence of more practical anti-aircraft systems, led to the program's cancellation. However, the technology developed for the Shatiya influenced later Soviet research into directed energy weapons. The Bartini-Beriev VVA-14, the Soviet Millennium Falcon. 5 years before Star Wars introduced the Millennium Falcon, Soviet designers created an aircraft that looked like it came from a galaxy far, far away. A vertical takeoff amphibious plane designed to hunt American submarines anywhere in the world's oceans. The VVA-14's bizarre elliptical shape served multiple purposes. The entire fuselage acted as a lifting body, while inflatable pontoons allowed water operations and vertical takeoff capability. This unique design enabled the aircraft to operate from land, water, or even rough seas where conventional seaplanes would be destroyed. Designed by Italian engineer Roberto Bartini, working in the Soviet Union, the VVA-14 was intended to counter American Polaris submarine-launched ballistic missiles. The aircraft would patrol vast ocean areas, using its amphibious capabilities to land on water for extended surveillance missions or emergency operations. The prototype's test flights revealed both the promise and problems of its unconventional design. While the lifting body concept worked, the complex systems required for vertical takeoff and amphibious operations proved unreliable. The aircraft's unique appearance and advanced capabilities made it a showcase of Soviet aerospace ambition. Only one prototype was completed before the program ended in the mid-1970s. The VVA-14's influence on science fiction design is unmistakable, and its advanced concepts predated modern vertical takeoff aircraft by decades. The surviving prototype remains a testament to Soviet willingness to pursue revolutionary aircraft designs. These 10 mechanical monsters prove that Soviet engineers never met an impossible idea they wouldn't try to build. From flying tanks to nuclear-powered trucks, they created machines that pushed physics to its limits and common sense beyond recognition. While many failed spectacularly, others achieved the impossible and changed military technology forever. What's your favorite Soviet engineering nightmare? Share your thoughts below. Hit that like button if these crazy machines amazed you, and subscribe to Future Facts for more incredible stories of human ingenuity gone wild. Until next time, keep questioning everything. The F-22 Raptor has never lost a single air-to-air engagement, maintaining a perfect 108-to-0 kill ratio in combat exercises. The MiG-21 became the most produced supersonic fighter in history, with over 11,000 built. The F-15 Eagle achieved 104 victories with 0 combat losses across 5 decades of service. These aren't just statistics, they're the legacy of the most dominant fighter aircraft ever created. From Cold War legends to modern stealth monsters, these 10 warbirds redefined aerial combat and shaped the future of military aviation. F-4 Phantom II, the Double Ugly Legend. A fighter so ugly it earned the nickname Double Ugly became the most produced American supersonic military aircraft in history, with 5,195 built between 1958 and 1981. The McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II proved that raw power could overcome questionable aesthetics. This twin-engine beast could carry over 18,000 pounds of weapons on 9 external hardpoints, while reaching speeds exceeding Mach 2.2. Its cavernous air intakes and drooped nose gave it an ungainly appearance, but the Phantom's performance spoke louder than its looks. The aircraft set 15 world records for in-flight performance, including absolute speed and altitude records. The F-4's combat debut came during the Vietnam War, where it served as the principal air superiority fighter for all 3 U.S. services. Every American pilot who became an ace during Vietnam, 5 total, achieved their status flying Phantoms. The aircraft's versatility allowed it to excel in air-to-air combat, ground attack, and reconnaissance missions. What made the Phantom revolutionary was its multi-role capability decades before the term became common. Initially designed without an internal cannon, later variants incorporated the M61 Vulcan rotary cannon after Vietnam combat experience revealed the need for close-range firepower. The F-4's adaptability kept it relevant across multiple conflicts and with numerous allied nations. Despite its unconventional appearance, the Phantom became a signature aircraft of the Cold War, serving with 11 countries besides the United States. Its combination of speed, payload capacity, and technological advancement established the template for modern multi-role fighters. MiG-21, the People's Fighter. One aircraft has been flown by approximately 60 countries across 4 continents and still serves many nations 7 decades after its maiden flight. The Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-21 fishbed became the most produced supersonic jet aircraft in aviation history, proving that simple, effective design trumps complexity. The MiG-21's pencil-shaped fuselage and delta wing configuration created an aircraft that was both affordable and deadly. Its nickname Balalaika came from its planform resembling the Russian stringed instrument, while Vietnamese pilots called it On Bak, or Silver Swallow. This small fighter could reach Mach 2.05 and climb at 225 meters per second. What made the MiG-21 extraordinary was its operational simplicity. Unlike complex Western fighters requiring extensive maintenance, the MiG-21 was designed for rapid turnaround and minimal ground support. Its single Tumansky engine and straightforward systems allowed less developed nations to operate sophisticated supersonic fighters. The aircraft's combat record spans dozens of conflicts worldwide. During the Vietnam War, North Vietnamese MiG-21s proved formidable opponents against American F-4 Phantoms and F-105 Thunder Chiefs. The fighter's small size and high speed made it difficult to detect and engage, while its heat-seeking missiles proved effective in close combat. The MiG-21's longevity stems from continuous upgrades and modifications. Modern variants like the MiG-2193 incorporate advanced avionics and weapon systems while maintaining the original airframe's proven characteristics. This evolutionary approach kept the fishbed relevant across multiple generations of aerial warfare. F/A-18 Hornet, the carrier warrior. The first aircraft designed from the ground up to be both a fighter and attack platform, the McDonnell Douglas F/A-18 Hornet revolutionized naval aviation by combining air-to-air and air-to-ground capabilities in a single airframe. This twin-engine marvel proved that versatility didn't require compromise. Entering service in 1983, the Hornet replaced both the F-4 Phantom and A-7 Corsair in U.S. Navy and Marine Corps service. Its unique design featured canted vertical stabilizers, leading-edge extensions, and a digital fly-by-wire control system that provided exceptional maneuverability at high angles of attack. The aircraft could remain controllable in flight regimes that would stall conventional fighters. The Hornet's combat debut during Operation Desert Storm demonstrated its revolutionary dual-role capability. Hornets shot down enemy fighters and bombed ground targets within the same mission, proving the concept of true multi-role operations. Aircraft that took direct hits from surface-to-air missiles successfully recovered, were quickly repaired, and flew again the next day, cementing the Hornet's reputation for survivability. Powered by twin General Electric F404 engines producing 17,750 pounds of thrust each with afterburner, the Hornet could reach supersonic speeds while carrying substantial weapons loads. Its 410 square-foot wing area and advanced flight controls provided the agility needed for both air combat and precision ground attack missions. The F/A-18's carrier-based design requirements created an aircraft optimized for harsh operating conditions. Its robust landing gear, corrosion-resistant materials, and folding wings made it ideal for naval operations, while its reliability and maintainability kept operational costs manageable throughout its service life. Dassault Rafale, the French Omni-Role Master. While other nations built specialized fighters, France created an aircraft capable of performing every mission from air superiority to nuclear deterrence in a single sortie. The Dassault Rafale represents the pinnacle of European fighter design, combining advanced technology with operational flexibility. The Rafale's distinctive canard delta configuration provides exceptional maneuverability, allowing the aircraft to withstand forces from -3.6 G to +9 G in normal operations. Its aerodynamically unstable design requires digital fly-by-wire controls to maintain stability, but this instability provides the agility needed for modern air combat. The aircraft can fly as slowly as 15 knots during training missions while maintaining control. What really sets the Rafale apart is its domestically developed technology. The RBE-2 active electronically scanned array radar, optronique secteur frontal infrared search and track sensor, and direct voice input systems were all created specifically for the Rafale program. This technological independence allows France to upgrade and modify the aircraft without foreign restrictions. The Rafale's omni-role capability means it can switch between air-to-air and air-to-ground missions during flight without returning to base. Its 14 hardpoints can carry up to 21,000 pounds of weapons, including Meteor air-to-air missiles, Storm Shadow cruise missiles, and ASMP nuclear weapons. This flexibility makes each Rafale equivalent to multiple specialized aircraft. The aircraft's naval variant, the Rafale M, demonstrates French engineering excellence. Despite being carrier-capable, it retains 95% commonality with land-based versions and cannot fold its wings, a design decision enabled by France's nuclear-powered Charles de Gaulle carrier. This commonality reduces training and maintenance costs while maximizing operational flexibility. Eurofighter Typhoon, the European collaboration. 4 European nations overcame decades of rivalry to create a fighter that could challenge American air superiority, resulting in the Eurofighter Typhoon, a twin-engine marvel that combines the best of British, German, Italian, and Spanish aerospace technology. This multinational collaboration produced one of the world's most capable air superiority fighters. The Typhoon's development began in 1983 as the Future European Fighter Aircraft Program, originally including France before disagreements over design authority, led to France's withdrawal to develop the Rafale independently. The remaining partners created a consortium of Airbus, BAE Systems, and Leonardo that continues to manage the program today. Powered by 2 engines producing 150,000 horsepower combined, the Typhoon can reach Mach 2.35 and climb to 11,000 meters in just 2 minutes. This exceptional performance makes it ideal for quick reaction alert missions, intercepting intruders before they can penetrate national airspace. The aircraft's Canard Delta configuration provides the agility needed for modern air combat scenarios. The Typhoon's combat record includes operations in Libya, where Royal Air Force aircraft participated in airstrikes destroying tanks in 2011 as their combat debut. The aircraft's precision strike capability, combined with its air superiority mission, demonstrates the multi-role flexibility that defines modern fighter design. With over 850,000 flight hours accumulated and 680 aircraft ordered by 9 nations, the Typhoon forms the backbone of European air defense. Export customers including Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, Kuwait, and Austria demonstrate the aircraft's international appeal and operational effectiveness across diverse operating environments. F-15 Eagle, the undefeated champion. No fighter aircraft in history has achieved what the McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle accomplished. 104 air-to-air victories with 0 combat losses over 5 decades of service. This twin-engine air superiority fighter established a combat record that remains unmatched in modern aviation. Designed in response to the Soviet MiG-25 threat, the F-15 first flew in 1972 and entered service in 1976. Its massive twin Pratt and Whitney engines and advanced radar gave it capabilities that overwhelmed contemporary opponents. The aircraft's not a pound for air-to-ground design philosophy created a pure air superiority fighter optimized for one mission, controlling the skies. The F-15's combat debut came with the Israeli Air Force in 1979, where it quickly established its dominance. During the 1982 Lebanon War, Israeli F-15s achieved multiple victories against Syrian aircraft without suffering a single loss. This pattern continued in U.S. service during the Gulf War, where F-15Cs accounted for 34 of 37 Air Force air-to-air kills. What makes the F-15 extraordinary is its longevity. 50 years after its first flight, the aircraft remains in production with the F-15X variant. This latest version incorporates modern avionics, fly-by-wire controls, and advanced electronic warfare systems while maintaining the proven airframe that has never been defeated in air combat. The F-15's weapons capacity is legendary, The F-15EX can carry up to 22 air-to-air missiles, more than any other fighter in production. Combined with its APG-82 AESA radar and advanced electronic warfare suite, the modern Eagle remains a formidable opponent for any adversary aircraft. Sukhoi Su-27, the Soviet Skydancer. Soviet engineers created a fighter so agile it could perform maneuvers that, honestly, seemed to defy physics, challenging Western assumptions about aircraft design, and establishing the Sukhoi Su-27 flanker as arguably the finest air superiority platform of the 20th century. This massive twin-engine fighter combined size with grace in ways that really redefined aerial combat. Development began in 1969 as a direct response to the American F-15 Eagle, with chief designer Mikhail Simonov gradually refining the design into a masterpiece of aerodynamic engineering. The Su-27's distinctive shape, with its long fuselage, widely spaced engines, and graceful curves, created an aircraft that was both beautiful and deadly. The Su-27's performance specifications read like fantasy: Mach 2.35 maximum speed, 18,500-meter service ceiling, and a 3,530-kilometer range. More importantly, its thrust-to-weight ratio of 1.07, with partial fuel load, gave it acceleration and climb performance that matched or exceeded any Western fighter. The aircraft could pull plus 9G maneuvers while maintaining control at extreme angles of attack. What truly set the Su-27 apart was its maneuverability. The aircraft could perform the Cobra maneuver, pulling its nose up to 90 degrees or more while maintaining forward flight, demonstrating control authority that Western fighters just couldn't match. This super maneuverability came from its relaxed stability design and powerful flight control system. The Su-27's combat record, while limited, proved its effectiveness. Ethiopian Su-27s shot down 5 Eritrean MiG-29s during the Eritrean-Ethiopian War, demonstrating the flanker's superiority even over its intended partner aircraft. The Su-27's influence extends through its numerous variants, including the Su-30, Su-33, Su-34, and Su-35, each optimizing the basic design for specific missions. F-22 Raptor, the Invisible Predator. The F-22 Raptor, known as the Invisible Predator, achieved something truly unprecedented in modern aviation: a perfect combat record of 108 victories and 0 losses during realistic combat exercises. The Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor stands as the absolute pinnacle of American aerospace technology, blending stealth, supercruise, and maneuverability in ways that, honestly, just redefined what air superiority means. The F-22's development kicked off in 1981 as the Advanced Tactical Fighter Program, with Lockheed Martin's design coming out on top in 1991. Its revolutionary mix of radar-absorbing materials, thrust vectoring, and integrated avionics gave it capabilities that, just a few decades earlier, would have seemed impossible. Stealth technology makes the F-22 almost invisible to enemy radar, allowing it to engage targets without ever being detected. And when you pair that with its ability to super cruise at Mach 1.5 without using afterburners, the Raptor can show up anywhere in the battle space, totally without warning. Its thrust vectoring engines give it maneuverability that outclasses even the most agile conventional fighters out there. But what really sets the F-22 apart is its combat systems integration. The radar, weapons control, and electronic warfare systems all work together as one seamless unit, providing pilots with situational awareness that gives them a huge advantage. During Exercise Northern Edge in 2006, F-22S racked up a 108-0 kill ratio against top F-15, F-16, and F-18 adversaries, all while maintaining a 97% mission capability rate. Production limitations make the F-22 pretty exclusive. Only 187 operational aircraft were built before the program wrapped up in 2012. This scarcity, along with export restrictions to protect its advanced tech, ensures the Raptor stays America's ultimate air superiority weapon. The aircraft's capabilities are so advanced it's expected to remain the U.S. Air Force's premier fighter well into the 2040s. F-16 Fighting Falcon, the Global Guardian. The F-16 Fighting Falcon, often called the Global Guardian, is the one fighter aircraft that serves with more air forces around the world than any other, proving that, sometimes exceptional design really does transcend national boundaries. The general dynamics. F-16. Fighting Falcon became the most widely used fighter jet on the planet, with over 4,600 built and flown by more than 25 nations. The F-16's revolutionary design brought fly-by-wire flight controls to production fighters, which allowed an aerodynamically unstable aircraft to pull off some pretty incredible maneuvers. Its side-mounted control stick and reclined pilot seat helped reduce G-force effects, letting pilots handle sustained high G turns that would knock out pilots in more conventional jets. The bubble canopy offered 360-degree visibility that was just unmatched by any other fighter at the time. What really made the F-16 special was its lightweight design philosophy. Unlike the big, heavy F-15, the Fighting Falcon was all about being lightweight and affordable, but still able to outmaneuver bulkier opponents. Its single Pratt & Whitney or General Electric engine gave it a thrust-to-weight ratio over 1:1, so it could accelerate and climb faster than a lot of larger aircraft. The F-16's combat record covers conflicts all over the globe, from the Middle East to the Balkans. Israeli F-16S famously destroyed Iraq's Osirak nuclear reactor in 1981, showing off its precision strike ability, and during the Gulf War, F-16S flew more sorties than any other coalition aircraft, proving just how reliable and effective they really are. Continuous upgrades have kept the F-16 in the fight for 4 decades now. Modern versions feature ASO radars, advanced electronic warfare systems, and precision-guided weapons. The basic design is still so solid that new F-16S are still being built today, with the latest Block 70 and 72 models representing the very best in single-engine fighter tech.
FA-18EF Super Hornet, the carrier evolution.
The F/A-18E/F Super Hornet, known as the Carrier Evolution, is where Boeing took the proven Hornet design and turned it into something completely new. The Super Hornet is actually 25% larger than its predecessor, even though it shares the same designation. This leap forward gave us a fighter that combines the original Hornet's reliability with capabilities that can actually rival dedicated air superiority fighters. The Super Hornet was developed to address the original FA-18's limitations, all while keeping its proven strengths. The bigger airframe holds more fuel, which means it has the range needed for deep strike missions. Its more powerful F-414 engines deliver 22,000 pounds of thrust each, giving it supersonic performance even with heavy weapons loads. What really sets the Super Hornet apart is its electronic warfare version, the EA-18G Growler. It uses the same airframe but brings specialized jamming capabilities to the table. This means carrier air wings can keep their electronic warfare edge without needing totally different aircraft types, making logistics and training a whole lot simpler. The Super Hornet has seen combat in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria, where its precision strike power and survivability have been absolutely essential. Its advanced APG-79 AESA radar and integrated defensive systems give pilots the situational awareness they need in today's high-threat environments. Plus, its ability to serve as an aerial refueling tanker adds another layer to its multi-role flexibility. Even though it's called an upgraded Hornet, the Super Hornet actually shares less than 10% of its parts with the original FA-18. This major redesign created a jet that really performs like a new generation fighter, while still keeping the traits that made the Hornet so successful. The Super Hornet continues serving as the U. These 10 legendary fighters, honestly, they represent the evolution of aerial warfare from the Cold War right up to the cutting edge of the modern era. Every one of these aircraft pushed the boundaries of what was possible, from the Phantom's raw power to the Raptor's stealth revolution. They've defended nations, won wars, and inspired generations of aerospace engineers to reach even higher. The future of fighter aviation is going to build on the solid foundations these warbirds established. So which of these sky legends impressed you the most? Go ahead and share your thoughts below, smash that like button, and subscribe to Future Facts for more incredible stories about aviation excellence. Until next time, keep reaching for the sky. The United States military just successfully tested a missile that travels at nearly 3,836 miles per hour while maneuvering unpredictably through the atmosphere. American soldiers are already using augmented reality headsets that let them see through walls and around corners. Quantum computers are being developed that could crack any encryption in just seconds. These aren't distant dreams, they're operational realities transforming how America fights wars. Welcome to the cutting edge of military innovation, where science fiction becomes battlefield fact, and tomorrow's conflicts will be won by technologies that seem impossible today.
Hypersonic weapons, the unstoppable strike.
A weapon that can travel from New York to Los Angeles in under 30 minutes while changing course mid-flight to avoid any defense system. This isn't theoretical anymore. The United States Army's long-range hypersonic weapon, nicknamed Dark Eagle, has successfully completed end-to-end flight tests and represents America's entry into the hypersonic arms race. The Dark Eagle system consists of a massive rocket booster carrying the common hypersonic glide body, which separates at high altitude and glides toward its target at speeds exceeding Mach 5. Unlike ballistic missiles that follow predictable arcs, hypersonic weapons can maneuver throughout their flight path, making them virtually impossible to intercept with current defense systems. What makes hypersonic weapons revolutionary is their combination of speed and unpredictability. Traditional ballistic missiles give defenders time to react and follow known trajectories. Hypersonic glide vehicles can change direction, altitude, and speed while maintaining velocities that compress reaction times to mere minutes. This capability allows them to defeat anti-access and area denial systems that would stop conventional weapons. The Army plans to deploy Dark Eagle in 8 missile batteries, with each M983 truck carrying 2 missiles in launch canisters. The first operational unit at Joint Base Lewis-McChord is expected to receive live rounds by May 2025, marking America's transition from hypersonic testing to operational deployment. The Navy's variant will equip Zumwalt-class destroyers and Virginia-class submarines, extending hypersonic strike capability across all domains.
Directed energy weapons, the speed of light arsenal.
Directed energy weapons, the speed of light arsenal. Imagine destroying incoming missiles, disabling enemy electronics, and neutralizing threats using nothing but focused light beams that travel at 186,000 miles per second. Directed energy weapons have moved from science fiction to battlefield reality, with the United States military deploying its first operational laser system aboard the USS Ponce in 2014. High-energy laser systems offer unprecedented advantages over conventional weapons. They provide virtually unlimited ammunition as long as power is available, eliminate logistical supply chains for projectiles, and deliver precise effects at the speed of light. Modern systems can engage multiple targets simultaneously while operating silently and invisibly outside the visible spectrum. The military has developed 2 primary categories of directed energy weapons: high-energy lasers for destroying physical targets and high-powered microwave systems for disabling electronics. Laser weapons excel at counter-drone operations, short-range air defense, and precision strikes against rockets and artillery. Microwave weapons can disable entire electronic systems without causing permanent damage to infrastructure. Current operational systems include truck-mounted laser platforms capable of destroying unmanned aerial vehicles and small boats. The Army's High-Energy Laser Scaling Initiative aims to develop more powerful systems capable of engaging larger threats like aircraft and missiles. These weapons represent a fundamental shift in military capability, providing commanders with precise, scalable effects that can be tailored to specific threats. The cost-effectiveness of directed energy weapons becomes apparent in sustained operations. While each laser shot costs only dollars in electricity, conventional interceptor missiles cost hundreds of thousands of dollars each. This economic advantage makes directed energy systems ideal for defending against swarm attacks and asymmetric threats.
Autonomous combat vehicles, the robotic battlefield.
Autonomous combat vehicles, the robotic battlefield. The United States military is developing unmanned ground vehicles that can navigate complex terrain, identify targets, and engage enemies without human intervention. But recent setbacks have forced a complete rethinking of autonomous warfare. The Army's Robotic Combat Vehicle program, launched in 2019, initially planned 3 variants but has been restructured due to evolving battlefield realities. The original RCV program envisioned light reconnaissance vehicles, medium support platforms, and heavy combat variants equipped with advanced sensors and weapon systems. These vehicles would operate alongside human soldiers, providing fire support and reducing risk to personnel. However, the war in Ukraine revealed critical vulnerabilities in slow, expensive robotic platforms targeted by cheap explosive drones. Current autonomous vehicle development focuses on practical applications rather than science fiction concepts. The ground vehicle. Autonomous Pathways project partners with commercial companies to adapt civilian self-driving technology for military use. Companies like Forterra, Kodiak Robotics, and Overland AI are developing navigation software that can handle diverse military environments. The shift toward practical autonomy emphasizes logistics and support roles over direct combat. Autonomous vehicles excel at supply missions, casualty evacuation, and reconnaissance operations where their ability to operate in dangerous environments without risking human lives provides clear advantages. These platforms can work continuously without fatigue and maintain operations in contaminated or hostile areas. Modern autonomous combat vehicles integrate artificial intelligence for navigation, obstacle avoidance, and mission planning. They can operate in GPS-denied environments using computer vision and terrain mapping while maintaining communication with human operators who retain ultimate authority over weapon systems. This human-machine teaming approach balances autonomous capability with human judgment.
Advanced cyber warfare capabilities, the digital battle space.
The US military fights wars in a domain that didn't even exist 50 years ago: cyberspace. Here, battles are won with code instead of bullets, and entire enemy networks can be destroyed without ever firing a shot. US Cyber Command has evolved into a unified combatant command, with 147 specialized teams conducting offensive and defensive operations around the globe. Cyber warfare capabilities now go way beyond traditional hacking. The military's cyber mission force includes teams that defend Department of Defense networks, protect critical infrastructure, and conduct offensive operations against adversary systems. These cyber warriors can disable enemy communications, manipulate enemy sensors, and, even cause physical damage to infrastructure through digital attacks. The Army's cyber units actually deploy expeditionary cyber and electromagnetic warfare teams to support tactical operations. These teams provide offensive cyber capabilities, information operations, and electromagnetic warfare support directly to combat units. They can jam enemy communications, intercept digital intelligence, and conduct cyber attacks that complement kinetic operations. Advanced cyber capabilities include artificial intelligence-powered threat detection, quantum-resistant encryption systems, and automated response mechanisms. The military is developing systems that can identify and counter cyber attacks in milliseconds, way faster than any human operator could respond. These systems use machine learning to recognize attack patterns and adapt defenses in real time. The integration of cyber operations with traditional warfare creates all new strategic possibilities. Cyber attacks can disable enemy air defenses before kinetic strikes, manipulate enemy logistics systems, and create confusion in enemy command structures. This multi-domain approach treats cyberspace as a maneuver space equal to land, sea, air, and space.
Next-generation stealth aircraft, the Invisible Armada.
The U.S. Air Force has confirmed the development of the F-47, a sixth-generation fighter that, honestly, makes the F-22 Raptor look like yesterday's technology. This revolutionary aircraft combines stealth capabilities that surpass current fighters with artificial intelligence systems that can command fleets of autonomous drones in combat. The F-47 represents the next-generation air dominance program's vision for the future of air warfare. Unlike previous fighters designed mainly for air-to-air combat, the F-47 integrates multiple mission capabilities including air superiority, ground attack, electronic warfare, and drone command. Its advanced stealth design potentially uses a tailless flying wing configuration, which minimizes radar signature beyond anything we've seen so far. What really sets sixth-generation fighters apart is their integration with autonomous systems. The F-47 can serve as a command node for collaborative combat aircraft, autonomous drones that extend the fighter's sensor range and weapons capacity. A single pilot could control several unmanned wingmen, multiplying combat effectiveness and reducing risk to human operators. The aircraft's adaptive cycle engines, potentially including the Pratt & Whitney XA-100, allow switching between high-speed performance and fuel-efficient cruising. This flexibility enables sustained operations over vast distances, while still maintaining the speed needed for air combat. The engine's variable cycle capability optimizes performance for different mission phases. Advanced avionics systems incorporate artificial intelligence to manage sensor data, coordinate with autonomous platforms, and assist pilot decision-making. The F-47's cockpit represents a fundamental shift from traditional controls to AI-assisted interfaces that can process information much faster than human operators, while still keeping humans in charge of critical decisions.
Soldier augmentation systems, the enhanced warrior.
American soldiers are already using augmented reality systems that overlay digital information onto their field of view, allowing them to see enemy positions through walls and coordinate with teammates through shared digital displays. The Integrated Visual Augmentation System, or IVAS, represents the most advanced soldier enhancement technology ever deployed. IVAS combines Microsoft's HoloLens technology with military-specific capabilities to create a comprehensive situational awareness platform. Soldiers can see thermal imagery, night vision, and digital maps overlaid on their natural vision, while also receiving real-time intelligence updates and communicating with their unit. The system even integrates with vehicle sensors, so soldiers can see outside before dismounting into dangerous areas. The latest IVAS 1.2 variant addresses earlier reliability issues and introduces improved sensors, plus a more comfortable form factor. The system can attach to combat helmets with a hinged mechanism similar to traditional night vision goggles, allowing soldiers to raise and lower the display as needed. Enhanced low-light sensors also improve target identification in tough conditions. Beyond visual augmentation, the military is developing physical enhancement systems. The Soldier Assistive Bionic Exosuit for Resupply, or SABRE, reduces lower back strain during heavy lifting operations. Recent tests show that 90% of soldiers reported enhanced task performance when using the exosuit during field training, which really demonstrates practical benefits for logistics operations. Current soldier augmentation is focused on enhancing human capabilities, not replacing them. These systems amplify natural senses, improve physical performance, and provide information advantages, all while keeping human decision-making authority intact. The ultimate goal is to create more effective soldiers, not robotic replacements.
Quantum computing for defense, the ultimate codebreaker.
The Pentagon is, racing to develop quantum computers that could solve in just minutes what would take traditional computers thousands of years, while at the same time preparing defenses against adversaries who might achieve quantum supremacy first. The Defense Department's quantum initiatives, honestly, represent both the ultimate weapon and the ultimate vulnerability in future warfare. Quantum computers exploit quantum mechanical properties like superposition and entanglement to perform calculations that are just impossible for classical computers. A cryptographically relevant quantum computer could, in theory, break current encryption systems that protect military communications, financial networks, and classified information. This capability would, render most current cybersecurity measures obsolete almost overnight. The military's quantum research is focusing on three primary applications: quantum computing for complex problem-solving, quantum sensing for detecting previously undetectable threats, and quantum communications for unhackable information exchange. Quantum sensors could potentially detect stealth aircraft, submarines, and underground facilities with unprecedented precision. DARPA's Quantum Benchmarking Initiative aims to determine whether industrially useful quantum computers can be developed faster than current projections suggest. The program evaluates quantum computing companies to, basically, separate legitimate progress from marketing hype while building verification capabilities to assess quantum claims. The Pentagon's quantum strategy emphasizes both offensive and defensive applications. While quantum computers could provide overwhelming advantages in intelligence analysis and cryptography, they also, threaten existing security systems. The military is developing post-quantum cryptography to protect against future quantum attacks, all while pursuing quantum advantages for American forces.
AI-powered battlefield management, the digital commander.
U.S. Marines in the Pacific are already using artificial intelligence chatbots to analyze surveillance data and identify threats, marking the beginning of AI's integration into real-time combat operations. This represents the second phase of military AI adoption, moving beyond simple automation to systems that can engage in human-like reasoning about complex battlefield situations. The Pentagon's Generative AI Task Force, led by the Chief Digital and Artificial Intelligence Office, is coordinating AI integration across all military services. Current applications include intelligent decision support systems that assist commanders in making tactical decisions, and aided target recognition systems that help identify enemy forces and equipment. Military AI systems are designed to augment human decision-making rather than replace it. The technology excels at processing vast amounts of sensor data, identifying patterns humans might miss, and providing recommendations based on comprehensive analysis. However, human operators retain ultimate authority over critical decisions, especially those involving weapons employment. Advanced AI applications include predictive maintenance systems that anticipate equipment failures, logistics, optimization algorithms that improve supply chain efficiency, and training simulations that adapt to individual soldier performance. These systems learn from experience and continuously improve their effectiveness through machine learning algorithms. The integration of AI with other emerging technologies creates synergistic effects. AI-powered systems can coordinate autonomous vehicles, optimize directed energy weapon targeting, and manage complex multi-domain operations. This convergence of technologies represents a fundamental transformation in how military operations are planned and executed.
Advanced electronic warfare systems, the invisible shield.
The U.S. military is deploying electronic warfare systems that can jam enemy communications across entire regions while simultaneously protecting American forces from similar attacks. These systems represent a new generation of electromagnetic spectrum dominance that treats radio waves as both weapons and shields in modern warfare. Electronic warfare encompasses three primary areas: electronic attack systems that disrupt enemy electronics, electronic protection measures that defend friendly systems, and electronic support activities that gather intelligence through electromagnetic monitoring. Modern systems can operate across multiple frequency bands simultaneously while adapting to enemy countermeasures in real time. The Army's expeditionary cyber and electromagnetic warfare teams provide tactical electronic warfare capabilities directly to combat units. These teams can jam enemy communications, disrupt unmanned aerial vehicle operations, and protect friendly forces from electronic attacks. Their equipment includes portable jammers, signal intelligence systems, and cyber warfare tools. Advanced electronic warfare systems use artificial intelligence to identify and counter enemy electronic systems automatically. These systems can recognize enemy radar signatures, communication protocols, and electronic warfare techniques while adapting their countermeasures accordingly. The speed of electronic warfare requires automated responses that operate faster than human reaction times. The integration of electronic warfare with cyber operations creates new possibilities for disrupting enemy forces. Electronic attacks can disable enemy sensors while cyber operations manipulate the data those sensors collect. This combined approach can create false pictures of the battlefield while blinding enemy forces to actual American positions and movements.
Space-based military assets, the ultimate high ground.
The U.S. military is deploying satellite constellations that can track hypersonic missiles, provide global communications, and potentially engage targets from orbit, establishing space as the ultimate military domain. The Space Force's development of next-generation satellite systems represents a fundamental shift in how America projects power globally. Military space assets provide essential capabilities including GPS navigation, secure communications, intelligence gathering, and missile warning systems. Modern satellite constellations use distributed architectures that make them more resilient to attack while providing global coverage. These systems enable precision weapons, coordinate joint operations, and provide real-time intelligence to forces worldwide. The military is developing responsive space launch capabilities that can deploy satellites within hours of need. This rapid deployment capability ensures continued space-based support even if existing satellites are destroyed or disabled. Small satellites and CubeSat swarms provide redundant capabilities at lower cost than traditional large satellites. Space-based sensors can track threats that ground-based systems cannot detect. Satellites equipped with infrared sensors can identify missile launches anywhere on Earth within seconds, providing early warning of hypersonic weapons and ballistic missiles. Advanced space telescopes can monitor adversary activities and provide intelligence for military planning. The weaponization of space remains controversial, but the military is developing defensive capabilities to protect American satellites from attack. These systems include satellite-based interceptors, electronic warfare capabilities, and maneuvering satellites that can avoid hostile actions. The goal is maintaining American space superiority while deterring adversary space weapons. These 10 revolutionary technologies represent America's commitment to maintaining military superiority in an increasingly complex world. From hypersonic weapons that arrive without warning to quantum computers that could reshape cryptography forever, each innovation addresses specific challenges while creating new possibilities for future warfare. The convergence of these technologies will define military power for the next 50 years. ensuring American forces remain unmatched on tomorrow's battlefields. Which of these game-changing innovations impressed you most? Share your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe to Future Facts for more incredible military technology stories. Until next time, stay curious about the future.